amongst the top 5 footballing leagues, only Serie A and La Liga have actual title races going on right now. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about La Liga and the three-horse title race. Who is going to win between Real, Barcelona, and Atletico? Hello guys, SKFC here with another video. So we are going to be looking at the La Liga title race, like I said in the intro. Currently, at the moment, there's really only 3 teams in this title race. We have Barcelona and Real Madrid on 60 points, Atletico Madrid on 56 points. Barcelona have played a game less than the other two, so they have a game in hand, and they're currently 4 points separating the 3 teams. And before we go into where I think how the season is going to end, I feel like probably a good thing to do is just to give us a bit of context of how we got here. So the first table we're going to look like is what the table was like at the end of October going into November. And the table looked a little bit like this. So you see in their first 12 matches, Barcelona had won 11, only losing 1 game. They were firmly ahead of the 2 Madrid clubs, and it looked like they were going to run away with the league. This was off of them, destroying Real Madrid in that El Clasico at the end of October. So clear to say, just by looking at everything, you're seeing here 40 goals in 12 matches, 1 loss. So it definitely looked like they were going to do something incredible. They then proceeded to win only 1 of their next 8 matches. And unfortunately for them, this coincided with Atletico going on an 8-match winning run in La Liga, and Real Madrid winning 6 matches out of those 8 matches as well. And this leaves us with the table looking like this. So as you can see, just over the winter break period, both Madrid clubs gained full control of the La Liga table, and it looked like Barcelona were going to have to do a lot of digging to get themselves out of the hole that they just found themselves in. However, since the start of 2025, Barcelona have yet to lose a match in the league. Real Madrid have lost a couple, and Atletico, especially over the last couple of weeks, have really let their form go. And that's kind of how we ended up with the table looking how it is looking. So now we're fully caught up and just kind of the big storylines of the season. Now, the next thing I think we should do is look at the run-in that each team has from now to the end of the season, not just in La Liga, but you also have to factor in the other competitions as well, such as the Copa del Rey and of course, the Champions League. Both Barcelona and Real Madrid are still, of course, in the Champions League knockout round. Real Madrid would be taking on Arsenal in the quarterfinals, and most likely will be taking on PSG in the semis, unless Aston Villa can pull up an offset. Then Barcelona going to be taking on Borussia Dortmund in the quarterfinals, and will take on either Bayern or Inter Milan in the semifinals. And obviously, these adds like possibly 4 extra matches for both teams in the month of April, and that is another thing to take into account as well. In the league, there's obviously 10 matches left for both Madrid clubs and 11 matches left for Barcelona. And the part I really wanted to pay attention to is this part right here that talks about the points per game of their remaining opponents. So you can see here that Barcelona have a slightly harder schedule, just based off of that metric. And I believe that for them, the games that are going to be looked at as difficult is obviously they have to play Real Madrid away. They also have to play Villarreal away, who are the 5th best team in Barcelona. I mean, not Barcelona, sorry, in La Liga. And they also have to play Atletico Bilbao. So you're looking at playing 3 of the top 5 teams in La Liga. They still have to do that. For Real Madrid, they still have to play Bilbao as well as Barcelona themselves. And for Atletico, they probably have the easiest schedule in terms of just facing difficult opponents. I think the hardest opponent they have left to play is either going to be Real Sociedad or Real Betis. So, their schedule is not as difficult as the other two La Liga clubs. But I feel like for Atletico, their main issue is going to be the fact that they have much more ground to make up on the other two squads, given that, they are 4 points back from the other two. Even when looking at the expected points metrics so far, it has Barcelona as comfortably the best team out of the three clubs that are in the title race right now. I do think that is somewhat accurate just when looking at the basis of how their games have gone this season. Even in the games that Barcelona were losing when they were on that bad run of form, they were still playing well and creating chances. They just weren't finishing it. Real Madrid have mostly just been getting by on their individual brilliance. From the likes of Mbappe as of recently, of Vinicius earlier in the season. Rodrigo has been consistent throughout the season. Jude Bellingham has come into his own as the season's come along as well. And then Atletico Madrid, they've just mostly been, finding ways to win games, grind out games. Even in that run that I was talking about when they won 8 games in a row, I think they scored like 11 goals in the second half of games in that run. So, there's been 3 different approaches from the 3 clubs in terms of how they've been getting points this season. And I just do think, given everything that I've said, I would probably go with Barcelona as my pick to win La Liga, just because I think that they've been playing the best out of the 3 clubs. I think that their football is probably the most consistent in terms of what I expected to see from them on a match-to-match basis. And I believe that, the more Flick figures out the squad, the easier it will be for him to iron out the more defensive issues that led to that poor run of form in the middle of the season. So yeah, I'm going to go with Barcelona as my pick for the La Liga champion. But all 3 of these teams have been, I want to say amazing, but have all been just about as good as each other. And I do think the race is close. So I don't really regret who out of the 3 clubs you pick to win La Liga. And yeah, that's going to be it for my video today. If you made it this far, I appreciate it. You might as well, give a like to the video. You might as well subscribe to the channel. But most importantly of all, remember to have a good day.